and welcome to the Ray Williams Show. Somebody might ask, who is Ray Williams? Well, Ray Williams is a person just like you. He's a person that has opinions, and not just opinions, but you know what? I've been around for a few years, and this way I know that some things are not right and some things are definitely wrong. So welcome to the Ray Williams Show, and we are going to go on a journey and see what the world is about. You know, by the way, you might want to ask me, what is the purpose of this show? Well, the purpose of this show is actually to shine a spotlight on some extraordinary individuals. You see, I've been around for a few years, and because I've been around for a few years, I've actually met some very extraordinary people. Now, I'm going to be introducing you to musicians and singers and preachers and all types of people from all different walks of life, even authors. All right, so stick around, hang out with us, and we'll talk to you about some of those great people. Today, by the way, I want to introduce you to a young man by the name of James Preston. James Preston is a very extraordinary individual. He's a musician. I've met him some years ago, but one of the things that I like most about James is that, well, James is a quiet and he's an unassuming young man, yet he has this tremendous amount of talent, a talent that should be seen, a talent that should be highlighted. Next up, as soon as we come back from our short break, I want to introduce you to my good friend, James Preston. And we're back from our little short break. James, you've been a musician for a long time, and you know, tell us a little bit about the industry, because you've been doing this for a long time. Tell us a little bit about the industry, because I know it's been changing over the years.
Yeah, when I entered the industry, I was doing mostly house music and remixes for people such as Roger Sanchez, Kenny Dope, Lil Louie Vega. I got some session jobs working for Madonna, her erotica album in particular, Babyface, B-42s, et cetera, et cetera. And I was in the studio often, you know, as a session musician. But then, with the advent of it changing from vinyl and CDs to strictly digital, it kind of shrunk that market, and those sessions kind of faded away.
Really?
So, you know, at that point you have to rethink, okay, what am I going to do now? I have an ability, I have a talent, and I still want to use it. So, and I had a band at the time. The band was traveling. The name of the band was Blue Side.
Okay.
Rakeem Walker is currently at Red Rooster every Monday. So he's a Blue Side member. Michael Lewis. So I said, what I can do is film. So I started a company, Federal Reserve Music Notes LLC, for the purpose of scoring film and TV.
Yes, yes.
It's been 8 years, and been tumbleweeds flowing by, nothing.
That's the way it happens sometimes. And you know, I know that doesn't deter you, because you've never stopped playing music.
Right.
So what motivates you most about playing music?
My first love is writing.
Really?
Yeah. I love composition.
Really?
That's my number. It's always been since I was a child.
Okay.
Yeah. My earliest influences were people like Isaac Hayes.
Hot Buttered Soul.
Yes, Isaac Hayes. Stevie Wonder, of course. Earth, Wind and Fire. My father was a jazz lover, so I fell in love with Kind of Blue, Miles Davis.
Really? Okay.
I fell in love with Ramsey Lewis. And the list, I mean, it's a long list. Patrice Rushen, Larry Dunn.
You played with Patrice Rushen?
No, these are people that
motivated you. Okay.
Motivated me.
Okay.
I actually met her.
Okay.
And shook her hand and said, thank you, because I know your hands are only this big, but you would never know it by how you play. And
that's right.
When I was in my teenage years trying to go over my rudiments and getting frustrated, like, you know what, this will never happen. I put on one of your records and hear you And so, well, if her hands are only this big, and one of mine is about 2 of her hands, I gotta keep trying.
That's right. That's right.
And she was like, "Thank you," you know. So I got a chance to at least tell one of the people who influenced me.
That's
Thank
good.
You.
That's really
You know?
nice.
I met Isaac Hayes.
Really?
And because the band that I was in, he asked us to work on an album with him.
Okay.
We played at his 60th birthday party. He invited us over for dinner. He cooked for us. So he was a gentleman. When he passed away, I felt like an uncle passed away.
Wow.
He was a genuinely a good person,
Yes.
but he's a genius. So I've been blessed to actually meet a few of the people who inspired me. Not all of them.
Not all of them, yeah.
But
But that's actually pretty cool. You know, you play a lot of music, and you're actually doing a lot of things right now. How many groups do you actually play with right now?
Well, about 5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 or 6, and they're all different genres.
Yeah, and different levels of ability. Pepper and the Soul Explosion is mostly like old soul.
Okay.
Yeah, 60s, 70s,
Okay.
up to current, but
Okay.
the soul element is very strong. And plus our first hour is instrumental music,
Okay.
like jazz and standards and Beatles, pretty much everything.
Okay. Okay.
And then other bands, like last night I played in Harlem, so we played like a lot of hip hop,
Okay.
jazz influence. So yeah, it's like wherever you go, you play to the audience. You have to play what caters to them.
I see. So, but with the different bands, because you know, when I met you, I actually met you in church.
Right.
Okay, and you were a church. Well, you are
Still am.
a church musician. You know, so how do you go from playing Christian music to jazz to hip hop and whatever other genres that you're playing?
Wow, that's a great question.
It wasn't vague.
I would say how it feels like
Yeah.
when you're doing that.
I mean, well, not so much how it feels. Is there any type of conflict? You know, because you know I know that there are different genres, and you know, but you're a music lover, and being a music lover, you know, I think that you actually just love the art of music. Okay.
That's it.
You know, I happen to love all types of music too, but not many people do. Most people just listen to maybe 1 or 2 genres, but you happen to play several.
Right.
And so, you know, how does this work for you?
Well, I had early exposure to a lot of different genres. As I said before, my father was deeply into jazz and bebop.
Yes.
My mother was into classical, Hawkins, Mahalia Jackson. My neighbors were into Marvin Gaye on the left side. My neighbors on the right side were into Earth, Wind, and Fire. So if I walked outside, I was getting hit from all sides, you know. And then, of course, you know, then you turn on the radio, you have America with Horse with No Name.
Yes.
And, you know, so there was like so many different kinds of music that I just love. I just fell in love with it. So if I hear them, I'm like, oh, I love that song. Can we play it?
Yes.
So, and then, you know, then you have the modern day stuff as like with church.
Yes.
Like, James, study these songs, we're gonna do them Sunday. So I have to take them and write a chart. So most of the time I'm reading, because it's doing all kinds of flips.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, to answer that question, if I don't know it, if I want to perfect it, I'll chart it and read it and play it from the chart.
Okay.
But it just comes from, like you said, a love for all and a respect for everything that. And I don't have to. Not often do I have to play things I don't really like.
Okay.
If I do, I'll just keep a straight face and
and do it anyway, right? I've been there.
Right.
I've been there. I used to, you know, back in the day, I used to play.
Right, drums,
you know,
right.
back in the day, I used to play, and I had this guy, man, all he ever wanted to play was blues.
Okay.
You know, and I was, you know, I like to play soul, I like to play jazz, I like to play hard rock, but all he ever wanted to play was blues.
Yeah.
And it used to drive me crazy,
Yeah.
but I can understand it. Yeah. But, you know, my question for you is, what does it take to keep up with today's trend of music and the technology as well? Because, and I know that they're tied together.
Okay, trends. I ride the subway a lot.
Okay.
So when people wear headphones, they play the music really too loud that you can actually hear it outside the headphones. So I hear what people are playing. And generally it's the same thing across the board. So I can hear through the hi-hats and the patterns.
Yes.
My first instrument was drums.
Was it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
You can play drums still?
Not like, you know, I haven't kept up with it.
Okay,
But I have, like, during rehearsals, if the drummer didn't show up, I kept time on drums.
Okay.
And I have a good time because I play, you know, I'm using percussion.
Well, you're a musician.
Right. But I don't call myself a drummer by any means. Disclaimer.
Okay.
So as far as trends, my ears are always open. Like
Yes.
I said, I ride public transportation, so I'm always exposed to what people, when they're not guarded, what are they listening to?
Yes.
And then, you know, some gigs I go to, they're like, yo, James, we're gonna do these current songs.
Okay.
So sometimes they're given to me, so I have to study them. As far as technology, I have my own studio, so.
Do you?
Yeah. So
Interesting.
I've had to learn Logic. Right now I have Logic.
Okay.
Pro.
Pro Logic, yeah.
Right. And I dealt with Sweetwater. That's where I bought most of my equipment from. So
Okay.
they would
You
advise me.
use Sweetwater, I use Zounds.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah.
So they advised me, you know, Mr. Preston, you own this, maybe you should plug this with it or whatever. And then do my own research,
Okay.
depending on what I'm trying to go for. And being that I'm going to score film and I'm focused on a cinematic approach,
Really?
I invested in Symphonia, which is a great library.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually good to know, and I'll tell my producer, okay, you know, as a matter of fact, he's listening now, that you also score film, so maybe there may be a future project even here with us.
Oh, great.
You know, one day that you might be able to help us with. But my question for you is, what would you advise, you know, young people today as far as playing music and getting started in this business? Because it's a crazy business, okay, and it's constantly evolving.
Well, first of all, if money is your objective, then don't do it. Anything you do in life, you should make money your first objective. It should be a strong passion, something that you really can't live without, something that you think about when you
Yes.
wake up.
Yes.
Because generally, if you love something that much, you're going to read books about it, you're going
Okay.
to seek it out. And if somebody asks you a question and you answer it and you can demonstrate, like, wow, how did you get good at that? I'm like, I don't know. And then before you know it, people are asking you all the time, hey, can you? And then you catch on by word of mouth, and all of a sudden, you're like the forerunner of whatever it is that you love because you love it so much that you
Yes.
just excel at it. So that applies to anything, but as far as music, it's so saturated now, you have to love it. And there's a lot of good people. Like I admire a lot of young people who've just been doing it for a few years. They're really good at it. And you know, if you're good, you're good. So, but know what it is that you're good at. Like for me, I wanted to do film, so
Okay.
I focused on that. And right now, in the middle of my first film.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
And actually, you know, I'd like to see it when it's done.
okay.
You know, you know, and I know I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but something just occurred to me because you know the industry is changing so drastically, and you know when I came up, you know, girls didn't play drums, girls didn't play bass guitar, girls didn't blow saxophones or trumpets, and if they did blow trumpets, it was in an orchestra or something like that where you couldn't see them. But now, you know, you have a lot of females doing things that they didn't do back in the day when I was doing it. And I don't want to sound chauvinistic or anything, but things are changing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's great. I mean,
because some of these ladies are good.
of course they are.
I mean, some of them are really good.
Of course they are. Esperanza Spalding, I'm a big fan of hers. I have a friend named Luciana Padmore.
Yes.
A great drummer. Quincy Jones walked up to her and said, "You are the truth."
Really?
If Quincy
Quincy
Jones
Jones does
gives
it,
you a
you're right.
blessing,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, there's so many more.
There's a Japanese
Lakeisha
there's a Japanese lady that plays drums, man. Oh man, she is a monster. I saw a lady who was just getting married, and what she did was during the reception, she got up on the stage with her wedding dress, pulled it up, sat on the drums, and man, she started wailing, and she was bad. She was bad, man. Oh man, I couldn't believe it. But you know, I'm just saying this to say that you know the trend and what's happening with music and people today and how things are changing. Sometimes, you know, older folks like me, you're not where I'm at yet. You know, older folks like me have a hard time understanding it. But you know, now that I'm looking at it, man, it's really beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It's really beautiful, and actually the change is actually better because actually they bring a different flavor that brothers didn't have.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. So you're doing film. Do you have any other aspirations?
Just to make it flourish. I mean, film, there's another playwright I'm working with who is going into film.
Okay.
So right now they're doing a play. It's going to be free in Harlem. I think June 4th is the date they have set.
Yes.
But the premise really is the spirit behind it, where it's not just entertainment just for entertainment. It's something that kind of feeds, you know, going throwback like to the days of Kool and the Gang, Earth, Wind, Fire, where you were, you know, like wow, you were into the music, but at the same time you were like, wow, I never thought of that, or wow, that's deep, or yeah, like family reunion. Yeah, I should love my family, or yeah, I do love my family. Oh wow, I never thought of my parents this way, or you know, whereas nowadays. I saw he must have been 10 or 11 years old, little kid, walked up on the platform. I was waiting for the Q train. He's like, I got bars. Nigga, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna roll up on your house and put bullets in your couch. And he started laughing. I'm like, I ignored him because I'm not gonna give you any attention for that. That's not cool.
Yes.
But, there needs to be a balance of different types of entertainment.
I agree.
So that even the children who are coming up have something else, and not just that. They can look at something else. Because that's what I got.
I'm glad that you brought that up. Would you allow your children to listen to anything like that?
Well, children.
I mean, can you stop them? Really?
They're gonna sneak in and find it, but as long as they know that you don't approve of it. Like I have two nieces that, right now they're older, so they can choose what they want, but their parents really didn't expose them to that. So, because it's like. I heard it said that that type of music is good for you if you're mature enough to say, okay, I'm angry, let me put something on that reflects how I feel. That's one thing. But if you're just a kid that doesn't have any filters and doesn't understand, you're just taking everything as like, oh, that's the truth, and it's entertainment. And a lot of the guys that's writing it is like, oh, I'm just trying to feed my family. So there's like so many different reasons why that exists. But I'm just saying, okay, it's cool that it exists, but let's not let that be the only thing that exists. Let something that's.
I agree. I was listening to you earlier, and you were talking about how you actually got started in music because, your parents, actually exposed you to different types of music. Right. Well, that's exactly how I got involved in music, is because my parents exposed me to music.
Right.
And I believe that if us as adults, if we can actually expose our children to different types of music, then maybe some of the angry music or the music that, the gangster rap, so to speak, maybe they will not, go in that direction. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, okay, the gangster rap is a product of its environment. There's some people they're just basically telling their story. They have a best friend who they just lost, and they were there when they lost their friend, and they just want to talk about it because they don't know who to talk about it to. They never talked about it to anyone. And somebody puts some headphones and a mic in front of them, that's the first thing that's going to come out their mouth.
Wow.
So that's where it comes from. So I'm not objecting to its existence, but in my experience, my father used to say, "Come on, son, let's get in the car," and he'd drive me to a jazz concert.
Wow.
And his objective was always to go up after the concert and shake hands with the artist.
Okay.
And he told me one time, my father was a trip. He was like, "Son, let me tell you now, if the artist shakes my hand and does not shake your hand, we're gonna go home and destroy their records." And he did.
Really?
My father did not play.
Oh, that's something, man.
My father did not play.
That's something that reminds me of something that that is actually happening even in today's news. Okay, where a certain baseball player was the club was actually denying access to his son. You know, and he says, "Well, if my son can't come, well, I'm now retiring from baseball."
Wow.
You know, and he had a $13 million paycheck coming.
Wow.
And he turned it down because he wanted to be with his son.
Right.
You know, that's actually something.
Yeah.
So, you know, with all of that said, where do you think the future of music is going?
It continues like everything else to morph and change.
Okay.
I see, okay, as we all know, they took music out of the schools.
Yes.
So it doesn't make people not want to be creative. They just find other ways to do it.
But they took away the classics.
Yeah, well,
You know,
they're actually playing instruments.
But when they played the instruments, they were playing classics.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the teachers taught. The teachers taught the classics. You know, they taught them Bach and Beethoven and all of these, you know, the classics. You know, so when you take music out of the school, this is what you're taking away from your children. You're taking the arts away from your children. You know, whether you desire to play a different type of music when you're out of school is another thing, but you know, to take away the fundamentals and the classics, I think is actually, you know, not a good thing to do. But
I think being that there was an absence of music education in the schools,
Yes.
it made other genres open up. Right now, electronic music is big.
Yes.
Because it's very accessible. You can
Yes.
you can have a computer and buy certain software.
Yes.
And just make music.
Okay.
So it makes the music change, though. The sound of it is different.
Okay.
So now you have a mixture of, it's like a hybrid of live plus electronic. And I think that's where it's going to continue. Whatever people can afford to make music with, that's what they'll do.
I agree with that. But let me ask you this question, and this will probably be my last question. Do you think that in the future of music, there's going to be an absence of love songs and the slow jams like there used to be? You know, remember those songs that you used to get in the summertime, those summertime songs that you would remember years and years later?
That's a good question. Hopefully. I think there will be love songs, but I think right now people are focusing on social issues.
Okay.
Some people talk about their personal feelings about another person.
Okay.
Either being head over heels with them,
Yes.
or losing them, or missing them. Like, you know, Hello with Adele. You
Yes.
know, why don't you pick up the phone? You know. But I don't know. I think that was a special era. I don't know if that's gonna ever come back the way it was. And people's ears and their appreciation for that tone, when they hear it, people of all ages still appreciate it.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's gonna come back like that.
Interesting. That's interesting because actually I still hear a lot of the old music, but they're now played in samples.
Right.
You know, the rappers use it in samples. And as a matter of fact, even regular musicians, they actually use these songs in samples.
Right.
You know, they might just play 2 seconds of it and that's about it.
Right.
But anyway, James, you know, I really appreciate you and, you know, I really thank you for spending this time with us. You know, you are an amazing young man.
Thank you.
All right, and don't let anybody tell you anything any different. You're amazing. You know,
Thank you, man.
I've seen this brother play before, and you know he's just unassuming, man, and he doesn't make a whole lot of noise. You know, I've been told once that an empty truck makes the most noise. You know. And you are not an empty truck. You are a full truck. You know, when you're rolling down the street, you know, when you're playing your keyboards, you know what you're doing.
Thank you.
But we're going to take a break right here, and when we come back, okay, we're actually going to take you to where James is playing with one of the several bands that he's playing with, and we're going to show you some of the skills that he has. James, thank you so much. God bless you,
Well,
sir.
thank you, man.
All righty.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Preston.
Dave Brown on guitar. When the days arise ahead of me, seems impossible to face. If someone else is there of me, always seems to know the way. If I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be.
And we're back. How did you like that? Did you see James Preston? Man, those guys were jamming. They were having a good time. And we were at the Montana Brothers Pizzeria right here in Freeport. And you saw the action. You saw James Preston. I hoped you liked him. What an extraordinary young man. By the way, thank you for watching our show. And we pray that you come back and see us again. By the way, you might want to be a part of this show. Maybe you have an interesting talent. Maybe there's something about you that you would like for other people to know about. You can actually get in touch with us. You can get us at, it's called The Ray Williams Show at gmail.com. So email us at TheRayWilliamsShow.com. Listen, thank you for spending the time with us. We really enjoyed having you. Come back and see us again. By the way, this is a Sean Davis production, and we're filmed right here at the Real Time Studios in Freeport, New York. Have a good day.